Hey, what's up you guys, it's Caboose XBL bringing you another Batman Arkham Origins video, and today what I'm going to be doing is giving you guys some tips and tricks on how to win in the multiplayer as either the Bane or Joker gang. Now the one thing about these tips is that they, for the most part, aren't completely for everybody. I mean, as though playing as the Joker gang can have a few different tips than, or winning as the Joker gang can have a few different tips than winning as the Bane gang. But for those of you who don't know, I am doing a few videos like this. Like I've already done a how to win as Batman and Robin video. That will be linked in the description. You can go ahead and check that out. But let's get right into the tips. So I'm going to start with the Joker gang, and then I'm going to move into overall tips, and then I'll end off with the Bane gang. So the Joker gang, what the type of gadgets that you can get are your explosive blimp. I'm not really calling them by their exact names, but you know, you got your explosive blimp, which is basically this airship, this RC airship, I believe that's what it's called. And when you either hit it across, or if you hit it on the ground next to somebody, it will take damage to them, and usually if you hit them directly, it will kill them. Now take note that there are different versions of this airship. I didn't know this when I first played the multiplayer, so I was like, oh, why not just pick the highest version, the most upgraded version? Because I believe the highest upgraded version is not an explosive, but it is in fact a flashbang. So take that in note. Always read what your gadget does, because if you don't, then you're going to be hella confused as to why you're not killing people with this airship. Usually I think I go with either version 3 or 4. But for the most part, the best thing about these airships to get kills is to directly impact someone, and you can do that with version 1. So that's my thoughts on that. Other tips that I can give you is I don't use the surprise I got you machine. That little, it's basically like a claymore kind of thing. I don't use that. While it is very wise to use that, but I prefer using the nail guns, because up close those things absolutely tear people to shreds. If you use those nail guns in a close quarters fight, you will win 9 times out of 10, unless your aim is just god awful. So I'd suggest the nail guns, but the surprise you're dead machine is also very useful gadget to use. In terms of tips and tricks to winning, you want to always be aware of your surroundings. This is kind of same as the Batman and Robin tips, is to use your detective mode, but instead of keeping it on always, use it wisely. Because if you run out of detective mode by using it too much, it takes a hell of a long time to charge. So always use it when you're unsure if an enemy is around a wall, or around a corner, or if you want to see where an enemy has gone after you go into a one-on-one gunfight with them and you didn't kill each other. Always use it in the right times. Don't just use it right away in the beginning of the match and run straight to the middle with it still on at all times. Because like I said, once your detective mode runs out as one of the gang members, you will have to wait a good minute or so for it to recharge back. And a minute within Arkham Origins multiplayer, a lot of things can happen. So that is definitely one big tip. Another tip that I can give is to use your grenades wisely. If you're in a gunfight with an enemy, don't just toss your grenade for the sake of tossing your grenade. You want to make sure that you can use this grenade to win the gunfight. You know, because sometimes you'll just throw your grenade, the dude will stay in cover after taking the damage, and you can't kill him, you know? So that is definitely something that I can suggest. Is what I usually do is when someone is running towards me or in my general direction, I like pre-throw the grenade so he'd run into the explosion, and then I'd take my shots on him to take him out as quick as possible, wasting as little as ammo as possible. Also, speaking of ammo, is when you go to any of the ammo crates, obviously some of you most know that there will be a big alarm sound and red flashes coming from it, and it's basically to allow Batman and Robin know that, hey, someone's getting ammo, you can take him out. So whenever I'm getting ammo, I'm holding A, and I'm using my right analog stick to look around and look above me, and sometimes I'll even go into detective mode to see if Batman and Robin are coming anywhere near me, because that way you can, once again, be aware of your surroundings and still grab your ammo. So that's one thing that is definitely a must-do in multiplayer games. So now I'm going to move on to a couple of Bane tips, or Bane gang tips, and then I guess a little more overall tips, and then we'll be done with this video. So with the Bane gang, you have once again another assortment of gadgets to use. You have the UAV, you have the giant pulse explosion, you have the target crossbow type thing, and I believe that's it. I may be wrong, but I believe that's it. But what I'm trying to say is your UAV is it's a must-have once again. And when I use the UAV, usually what I do is I make sure I'm as far as possible from my enemy that I'm trying to take out. And sometimes I'll do what I do with grenade is I'll take a pre-fire, you know. I'll shoot to a position that I'm sure he's running to. Then he'll take that damage, and before he's even aware where my UAV is, I'm already taking my second shot and taking him out. And what I'm saying is, when I say that I make sure I'm far away from enemies, is that if you are kind of too close to an enemy and you're trying to shoot him with the UAV, you'll destroy your own UAV. In terms of what version to use, they're all pretty much explosives, so I'd go with maybe the 5th one or the 3rd or 4th one. That's up to you. You know, you want to read through that, and whatever fits you or what suits your game style most is what you should choose. In terms of either using the pulse explosion or the target crossbow and both the pulse explosion are once again very useful gadgets. The target crossbow, what it does is you shoot it at an area, and if somebody walks into that area, they'll be targeted, and you can see them. You can see the word enemy over them wherever they are for a little bit. And what that also does is once they walk over it, they get stunned. So what I usually do is I'd shoot it at an area to make sure someone gets stunned by it, and then I'd have the upper edge and be able to take them out no problem. But sometimes people can just get tagged and nothing happens, you know. They run away. No one's gonna notice that they got tagged. No one's gonna realize, and by the time they do, their tag is already gone and they're safe. So I like to use the pulse explosion much more because what it can do is so much more than people think. First of all, it does stun people from range. So if somebody is coming at you and you pull that thing out, you will stun them, and once again you can take them out. Or if they're close enough, you can actually kill people with this thing. It is so awesome. There's countless amounts of times where I'm out of ammo, someone is chasing me, I go around a corner, and when they think they've got me, I pull out that thing and blow them half to hell. And it is so useful. I would recommend the pulse explosion over the target crossbow, but once again, it's up to personal preference in terms of that tip. So those are tips that I can give with both of those gadgets, and obviously the UAV as well. So in terms of the last couple tips that I'll give overall is to try to become your gang leader, because when you do, you are aware of where Batman or Bane or Joker is going to show up when they are about to show up. So if, you know, for instance, you're playing in a match, if you're team captain, you're going to see the little Bane or Joker sign depending on what team you're on, and he's going to say, I'm going to be at this door in a certain amount of time. So you can get to that door first before any of your teammates even know he's coming. So try to become your gang leader, and to do that, I believe you have to have the most points on your team. And doing that is by capturing control points and killing enemies, of course. And speaking of control points, they are actually extremely useful to winning the match. You know, a lot of people find that as such a side objective, and killing enemies is what they need to do. But capturing control points seriously helps you win the match, because when you are holding majority control points, your enemy team's lives go down. So, like I said, capture those control points, because they really, really freaking help to winning your game as fast as possible. So that is about it in terms of tips and tricks on how to win as the Bane or Joker gangs in Arkham Origins multiplayer. Hope this helped. If it did, like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. I'm CaboosXBL, and see you guys later.